Look, Baron's right behind him.
Yeah, Baron's a superstar.
Where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me, and I'm proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Baron is so tall. So legit.
Here we go. I want him to say Kamala conceited.
Look, here's the Daily Wire crew behind him.
Look, Baron's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We are back. 1000% we are back. Let's see who we have in the building. Adam Ant first. Salute to you, my friend Imperious. Salute to you out there. Thank you for joining us for this, I don't even want to say historic episode because, you know, I'm that knock on wood. Hope he makes it to inauguration. Hope he makes it to enter the White House and all that jazz. I mean, with people left and right trying to off this guy. Guys, thank you for being here. Let's go indeed. We've got Chris Jones in the building this evening. Welcome in, Chris. Who else do we have? Believe in yourself. Welcome in. And yeah, I mean, decent username, guys. Gotta believe in yourself. TC Space C over on Outspoken Samantha's channel. Welcome in. Unsubscribed Gaming. Welcome in. Yo, Joe, I'm still smiling. Yes, absolutely. Salute to you. I am still smiling ear to ear. There were some people saying, yeah, I guess I could. There were some people saying that No Nut November is officially over after Tuesday night. Now, for me, I don't partake in that personally, but I am, for the first time ever, I am doing No Shave November. We got Brian Blaha over on are you guys on Outspoken Samantha's channel? Let me pull it up just to make sure. Let me pull it up. Boom. And we'll mute that. Yes, okay, good. We got Brian Blaha, Chris Jones. Are you related to Mike Jones? Whoo! Seriously, Shelby, like the video, guys. Absolutely. Big salute to you, seriously, Shelby. Counting down the days until you are officially a squid, my friend. Look, we all can't make the best of choices, which is, of course, joining the United States Army. But hey, Navy's okay. Navy's all right. They do okay things over there. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about headgear, guys. It's hard for me to get the new MAGA hat for a couple of reasons. One, because I didn't get this hat at January 6th. I got this hat at a November rally, a November 2020 rally out in DC is where I got this. It's probably where I got put on their naughty list because I used a Bank of America ATM at a Trump rally in DC. So one, and just to be like, hey, you know, I'm an OG. I've been here from the start. But two, the other kind of issue with it, what is this red thing right here? What is that? Is it this? No. Is it this? No. Is it this? No. What are you? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, now whatever it is, it's gone now. Yeah, so it's hard because I don't know, you kind of look a little bit noobish, like you just came online. But the other thing is making my own hats. It's just hard. It's hard to just jump in and get the new MAGA hat. But I don't know. Let me know. So, okay. I can see myself. And see, I don't know. I've committed not shaving until December 1st. So, I guess I'll just look a little I don't even know. Guys, what are you thinking? What are we thinking about this election? Are we excited? Are we holding our breath until that fateful day when he officially steps into office? What are we thinking? I'll be honest. I am probably just going to remain a little bit nervous until he gets in there. All right, where I want to show this in all scenes. Bear with me while I get this fixed up here. Guys, go over to the Joe Mobley Show website and click on that shop button, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you want to do that. If I can get it, show in all scenes. Boom, there it is. Now that looks kind of big and crazy. Can I edit this at all? Here we go. Let's bring in these edges a little bit. Whoa. Okay, grab? Are you gonna let me grab it? Jeez. All right, this is whoa. This is what happens with live editing. Okay, here we go. Let's put it right there. All right, yeah, so go over to thejoemobley.com, check out the shop, because from now until January 20th, you will get 25% off everything, which I got to tell you, for some of the products, I just lose money on that, which is whatever. I don't care. I'm that excited. If you don't have this shirt already, you got to get it. You 1000% got to get it. Guys, the promo code is Trump47. Go over to thejoemobley.com/shop, or just there's a link. I think there's a link like right below wherever you're watching. Because if you're like me, actually, if you're not like me, because if you were like me, you would be wearing MAGA gear all the time and just rubbing it in people's faces, because it's like, who cares, dude? Like, I don't care what you think. We can disagree about things. It's not that big of a deal. You know, we're all adults here. But if you're not like me, and you were hiding under a desk and being totally in the closet about your thoughts, opinions, and beliefs, and now he won, and he's getting inaugurated, and now you might just want to let your little freedom flag fly just a little bit more. You might have a little extra pep in your step when you go into the office, when you're on Teams meetings with your liberal colleagues who are crying and offering safe spaces. I'll never forget that there were safe spaces offered in corporate offices and college campuses around the country in 2016 when Donald Trump was elected for the first time. And if you're anything like me, you would go to these safe spaces dressed in this, wearing your fight shirt, wearing your Trump strong and courageous. There are a lot of these shirts out there. There really are. Mine's the best. Look at this. Look at this shirt. It's the best because despite what CT says, there are some conservatives who have who create things. So yeah, I don't know. I like this. It's got that line art, subdued, just with the blood red and the stripes. Anyway, this is one of my favorite shirts. I wear it all the time. Of course, I have a different version. This one's just strong and courageous. Shout out Joshua19. Have I not commanded you? Do not be afraid. Be bold and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. But the one that you guys, the one that I wear often says fight at the bottom. But this one's still selling strong. So not the best of ideas to just take products down while they're selling really well. get the hat. Whoa, that was way too zoomed in on my girl's head here, or on her face. You guys know that I'm a hat guy, so. Sherry Baker says, yes, I know, Joe, conservatives create the best things. I agree. I don't know where CT gets this from. Great channel to follow, Chaotic Truth Live, even though he was on something today. But we can here, let's go for the sweatshirt, because it is supposedly fall. Supposedly it's going to be getting cold here soon. We do need to make elections great again. Great product. This one's funny. This one is funny. You can also get all of these things. You can get them on a mug. You can get them on a shirt. You can get stickers. You can get all that kind of stuff, guys. It's thejoemobley.com/shop. Of course, that's where you can also become a member up at the top by clicking members. Boom. That's where you'll be brought to our membership site. $5 a month. For $5 a month, you get exclusive weekly content. You get this Joe Mobley Show logo shirt. It's available in 3 colors, black, maroon, and navy. And, of course, you get the coveted member-only mug. Is it going to make me put in the password? I wonder if I can just drop it in like this. I don't think it's going to take it. Yeah, okay. See, I can't even get the member mug, apparently. Now I already have my member mug. You get the mug, you get the shirt, you get access to a community over on Locals, unlike anywhere else. I know we're building community in other places. We're up on Discord, we're up on Facebook and Twitter and all of these places. But man, I am just, where should I put this? Yeah, I'll put it right there, and we will go and hide it for now. Is it still there? Perfect. Trump47 is the promo code for 25% off your entire order. Sherry Baker says, I love coffee cups. Well, here's the, okay, see, we're going back in. The reason that you want to get one of my mugs, and this one was the bestseller, but I guess I'm going to have to refresh it. So, because Joe Biden's out, Kamala's out. I guess, I don't know. You guys want a Donald Trump 5 stars would recommend? I guess I can throw that on a mug. Get that built out. Let me know what you guys think. But anyway, the reason that you want one of my mugs is because my mugs are 15-ounce mugs, and they have that big D-shaped handle. So I, as a 6'1", large man, I can stick all 4 of my fingers in the handle of these mugs. They all come with the logo on the side that faces right-handed drinker, and our saucy images on the side that faces the haters in your office. So for mugs right now, we got uncloseted conservative, we got all faster than dialing 911. My AR-15 identifies as a stick. And of course, the one that I think everybody needs to get and order tonight and start carrying everywhere with you, because this whole thing is far from over, is Make Elections Great Again. Guys, Trump 47, all one word, Trump 47 for 25% off your entire order over on the shop. So of course, doing things out of order here. Let's dig into that piece about elections. Guys, these are prototypes. I'm very happy with them. So the uncloseted conservative trucker cap will be hitting the shop soon. I think that they did a great job with these. And they're classics Yupong trucker caps, which are very high quality. And the build not break, build is greater than break cap. I think they did a good job with this too. I'm still trying to figure out colors on this. I like the black and white. I know a lot of people don't like white on their hats. This is one of my favorite color hats, white navy and white and gray hats. I wear them all the time. If you guys know me in real life, then you know I am always rocking a hat and a saucy shirt. And no, it's not because I don't take care of my hair. I do get my hair cut And no, it's not because I'm bald. I do have all of my hair. It's because... Here, let's take this off. Oh. It's because... Yeah. My hats actually stand up better to the arm or the headband of the what do you call them? Headphones. Raw Shoe, salute to you, good sir. Should we tell him he's got a bald spot? I do know that I had, dude, everyone my age has a little bald spot right here. Yes, I do have starting to bald a little bit there, and that's all right. Bald spots are earned. Oh, goodness gracious. How about Jesus 5-star would highly recommend? That'd be a good shirt. That'd be a good shirt. Good mug. It's funny you say that because I don't show this anywhere. Let me see if it's even in any of the pictures. I think it's usually hidden because it's a fun little surprise, but I will share with you guys the inside baseball. Let's go into the design here and pull it up. Let's see. Let's see if I can pull it up. Pull it up, up. Dig-a-dum, pum pum. Dig-a-dum, pum pum. Dig-a-dum, pum pum. Dig-a-dum, pum pum. Pum 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 pum. Dig-a-dig-a-dum. Pum 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 pum. Dig-a-dig-a-dum. Pum pum. Pum pum. Okay, here. I mean, is it coming up? I have no idea. Hello. There we go. Open. Oh, yeah, this does not look, the way that this came out does not look great. But it's funny that you say that, Adam Ant, because people don't know. You can see that there's the Joe Mobley Show sleeve logo, but I kind of save it as a surprise for people. There's actually a neck tag on all of my merchandise that says bold and courageous. So if you buy anything, the background here is black for whatever reason. I don't know. It's a clear background. I guess you can't actually have a clear background on an image, because what would that look like? And what is clear anyway? Anyway, before we fall into a space-time continuum, there's actually a neck tag on all of my wearable merchandise that says bold and courageous, because, I mean, that's what it is. God has not given you a spirit of fear. He's given you a spirit of power and love and sound mind. And again, we talked about this earlier, but Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded you, have I not commanded you, do not be afraid, be bold and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Which is so interesting because it's a literal commandment, and because God is saying it over and over again, do not be afraid, be strong and courageous, be bold and courageous. But then just to clarify to all, he says, have I not commanded you already? But I guess you still need this in your life. Anyway, that little sermon is over. Outspoken Samantha, and Kat, how are you?
All right. As long as you can hear me. I don't know.
I can hear you.
My light is so bright right now.
I can hear you.
Yeah. I'm feeling, for somebody who just intentionally voted all of my rights away, I'm feeling great.
Yeah, honestly. Well, we're glad to hear that. Also, I love the new background. I was watching your I don't know when you released it, but I was watching your video about the leftist reactions, and I was like, oh snap, Samantha Studios all coming out.
Yeah.
Plus, that's
I'm working on it.
That's like my favorite color, but it's a little bit like for guys, so I can't have anyway. Yes, we are sharing all the things.
White dudes for Kamala, but I have to bring down the tile like right here because it's a work in progress. Like there's still stuff that I want to do, but yeah, I like the way the blue and the wavy, even though it's a blue wave, that's weird. I mean, why would I pick that? I don't know, but
it's kind of funny. It's hard to have like all red stuff. Red is a little bit harsh. It's a little bit of a harsh color. So yeah, I mean, so I did the red light back there, but what's on me is a blue light. And that's because if you put a red light on yourself, you look like a bad guy. You look like El Chapo or Darth Vader or something.
Yeah, that's not the vibe I'm going for. Like,
yeah, not the vibe.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
I will be adding more things and a bookshelf and some different lights. So yeah, it's a little not unfinished right now, but that's just the way I roll. So
that's the way that all of this rolls. We are constantly building the plane as we're flying it. All right. Well,
how are you feeling this week?
Good. Can't complain. Yeah, it's so interesting. Donald Trump, just like the Trump effect of everything just makes everything better. Like literally, again, got that discount code out there, guys. 25% off your entire order. Trump 47 on the Joe Mobley Show website. So go and order stuff. But the stock market is soaring. Wars are apparently ending themselves even before this man steps in the office. And like my own, like totally anecdotal, my own personal shop sales have increased in the last like 30 hours, which is like wild.
Yeah, I don't think we can underestimate the importance of just like the overall vibe across the country. I mean, I think obviously there's going to be a lot of things that need to be fixed and it's going to take time and who knows what that's really going to look like. But just knowing the way forward is going to be up instead of down makes all the difference in the world. And people are less afraid to spend money. They're less afraid to indulge a little bit, to kind of start getting those little things that they've had their eye on. Because, with somebody like Kamala Harris in office, I mean, we've got to save every single penny that we have. You don't know what kind of catastrophe is going to unfold from one day to the next. Whereas with Donald Trump, I mean, especially since he already has a track record of success with the economy, people are like, okay, I can relax a little bit. So it's even in the littlest areas, we can already see the effect of it.
So to translate that into basic white girl, from a not basic white girl, everyone is getting the guac and queso at Chipotle. That is how America is feeling right now.
Yep.
Give me the guac. Give me the queso.
Yeah. Both in the same order.
Yeah. It's funny. You're getting some affirmations in the chat about the blue. Adamant says red would look hideous. Sherry Baker, welcome Sherry. Says it's pretty enclosed, but in rooms it can be a little bit too much. Talking about the red. So, also, yeah. So everyone loves the backdrop. Very well done.
Actually, I need to tell you guys. So I don't know how long we've been doing this podcast, like on and off for like a couple of years. It feels like I just learned last week that I can actually click on a button and see the chat. I had no idea. I saw this like little like chat thing in the corner with like a red dot. I was like, what is that? And I clicked on it and the whole chat unfolded. I was like,
Yeah, I think
Now you guys
can,
have to behave. I can see what you're saying.
I think you can even star a chat. So, oh, that's funny. Hey, the same thing happens to me. Especially it's different because I used to use StreamYard and it's different from the streamer perspective, and it's also different in the different platforms when you're a guest. Like Streamlabs, it's so funny. So many people go crazy about it. Grid One is a Streamlabs user. I don't like the Streamlabs interface as much as StreamYard or Ecamm Live, and everyone's always giving me crap about it, which is so funny because you sound like liberals when you do this. You can use whatever you want to stream and podcast and create whatever content you want to create. I'm like, why are you so angry and losing sleep over what I do in my home office? It's just,
Right.
It's so weird.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say that collectively, the United States owes this man, one Scott Pressler, a beer. Someone who actually owns a brewery said I can help out with that in the comments. And look, we're obviously not for handouts here, but this wouldn't be a handout. I would just give Scott lifetime free beer, or at least free beer for the 4 years, within reason. And I'm sure he's not just pounding beers all the time. But I will say he's freaking huge. I met him. He was speaking out here in Loudoun County at a school board meeting a couple of years back. And I guess we had the same like woosaw thing because I was speaking at the same event that he was. And like several hours before the event, I'm like, I'm going to get my notebook, my laptop. I'm going to go to Starbucks, the closest Starbucks to the event, and just work and be by myself. And I walked in, got my drink, and then in comes he's freaking, I'm 6'1". Like I'm a decent sized dude. He's got to be like 6'4", 6'5". He's freaking huge. And he's wearing like cowboy boots, which gives you like another inch and a half.
Oh, yeah. I've met him before as well. He came to Colorado for a campaign event. Yeah, it's so weird, like your perception of people when you just see them online. Like, I mean, there's just so many people that I hear about that I'm like, you're only like 5'1" in real life. Like, what is your problem? But so yeah, he's got to be 6'5", 6'6". He is tall. Like, he is a tall, skinny dude.
Yeah.
Another one that I didn't realize was so tall was Charlie Kirk. He was
how tall? I've only ever seen him seated.
I know.
Like
I
in
saw
person.
a clip of him walking next to Tucker Carlson, and I know Tucker Carlson is pretty tall, and he was a good couple inches taller than that. So I looked it up, and he's like 6'5".
It's all the testosterone. Conservative men, we grow tall, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, they say conservative women are more attractive, and that seems to be verified by a lot of different independent, bodies that wouldn't really be interested in propping up conservatism. This is not something great to Google just because it's a high risk search. But years ago, Playboy had commissioned these little research studies. Actually, they did polls. They had executed these polls to find out where the groups of most attractive women were, and they kept landing on colleges, which makes sense because younger women are more attractive. It doesn't mean anything weird. We're not talking Diddy young. We're talking like
Right.
18 to 22 college age.
Actual adults.
Yeah, but Liberty University kept coming in number one or number two for pockets of groupings of most attractive women. And it's like, oh, that makes sense. These like young Christian girls that aren't these freaking OF. Yeah, well, I don't want to say that word. My son's over here. So OF mattress actresses doing all this nonsense. So, I mean, that's just another reason to be on the right side of things. You're taller, you're more confident, you're more attractive.
Well, and I think we've had this conversation before, but I think obviously it has a lot to do. I mean, not entirely. It's not just what's on the inside that counts. It really is, but it's not. it's not just about what you look like outside. If you're a good person and you have a certain, belief system and you have a good energy and that set of values, that kind of stuff shines through. I mean, we've seen in stark contrast just this flood of liberal women all across the internet over the last few days, just screaming and yelling and whatnot. And it's not just they're screaming and yelling, it's just looking at them. They look so dark. They look like there's nothing behind their eyes. Like there's nothing there. It's just this lack of a soul. And that's something that you can just get from people. And it just makes such a huge difference. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of different factors to that level of attractiveness. And a lot of times you can tell just by looking at someone what kind of person they are on the inside as well. So,
Yeah. Reality Pocket says, let's call it turquoise. That exactly. Turquoise teal. That's like my favorite color. Everyone is still not distracted,
still
but
talking about my
very
background?
very into the background. So salute to everyone over on the Rumbles.
Aqua.
Aqua. Yeah, exactly. TCNC over on Outspoken Samantha says hopefully all Trump legal cases will get dropped. We have this up as a story a little bit later, but whatever. We can jump around a little bit. I think the charges thing just kind of goes away. Number one, Secret Service is going to have major issues because now they can't screw around now. He gets the package. He gets the whole shebang from Secret Service. And now it's going to be very difficult to get to Trump. Now, can certain bad actors and agencies get to him? Of course, they can get to anyone. But I think Secret Service's mandate is a little bit different. And to include how they respond to other law enforcement's authority. So when they have a protectee, they don't give a crap. They don't care about your warrant. They don't care about your diplomatic status. They care that you are encroaching on their protectee, especially if you're law enforcement and you're armed and you're not one of them. There's just no... Things were different when he was a former president. But now that he's president-elect again, I don't think that he's ever going to see the inside of a jail cell or be handcuffed or anything like that, or like perp walked again. But even so, I mean, if somehow, some way they're like, hey, you're going down for these 34 felonies that are super bad, but no one can actually name these crimes. And it's, if you think he's guilty of any of these 24 crimes, then he's guilty of some other mystery crime that is some type of felony. And we'll tell you what it is once you agree that he's done it. If somehow Letitia James is able to make that ridiculous kangaroo court sentence stick, I think he just gets, this is not high crimes and misdemeanors. And constitutionally, high crimes and misdemeanors is like treason, sedition, terrorism pointed at the United States, these types of things. It's not paying mattress
error?
act. Yeah, it's not hush money to adult entertainment stars. That your attorney did. Anyway.
Right. I think that would probably take down half of Washington if that were the case. So.
Yeah. What do you think about the lawfare?
Well, as far as his cases, the things that, I mean, I was listening to somebody talk about it probably a couple of weeks ago, that he's not actually a felon right now because while the jury obviously delivered their verdict, it would have to go back to court to get the official judgment of the judge. So since that hasn't happened, he's not actually like considered a felon. So I don't know exactly how it all works, but it was just kind of interesting how he explained it. But obviously, it doesn't really matter. Just the accusations were enough to label him as this criminal. So it wouldn't have ever mattered had it seen the inside of a courtroom. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think that liberals are ever going to let it go as far as their voting base. But at this point, I don't know if it really matters. I mean, it does in the sense that like you can't let cases like this hang on that have no legitimacy, that are completely overblown and just like a complete mockery of the justice system. But overall, like in the court of public opinion, I don't think it matters. Like, at least not to people who are sane and, paying attention to what's actually going on.
So closely related but different. Ivanka Trump tweeted this, I think, yesterday. And I thought that this was very interesting. General Mark Milley says he fears he could be court-martialed if Donald Trump becomes president. What's your reaction? I'm curious what you all think what is going on inside high levels of military leadership or government and agency leadership where these people are so resistant to Trump, his policy, his agenda. They've come out over the last 4 years as naysayers because they thought that JoJo and Ho-Ho were going to get it done and stay in the White House, and they didn't. So now they're like, shoot, we outed ourselves. We showed our hands because we were feeling ourselves for these 4 super woke years. But curious what you think is going to happen with these people and what their options are going to be. They can't stay.
No. I mean, obviously, like, bare minimum, they can't stay where they're at, but I don't know. It's really hard to say. I'm hoping that Trump has learned some of his lessons from the past. I think that he really has. But I mean, part of his campaign in 2015, 2016 was putting Hillary Clinton in jail, and that never happened. So it's like, not only that, there are so many other things that need his attention that it's like, how big of a priority is it going to be to go after these people as much as they deserve it? So I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I mean, another point that I heard, somebody else making today is that once Republicans are in power, like, as much as we talk a big game, once we have that, we just kind of back off and we're like, we're fine. Like, it was nice to talk the big game and to be all tough when we had to be, but now we can kind of we can relax and kind of put our feet up, which seems to be consistently what Republicans do. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. I know there's a lot of accountability that needs to take place, but Republicans are just not great for holding people accountable.
I agree with the last part completely. I think Donald Trump is a little bit of an outlier because he fired people, like his Apprentice famous line, you're fired. He did fire people during his last administration, not nearly enough though. It's so funny, and he doesn't like to be embarrassed. He brought Christopher Wray in. I don't know what those conversations were like. Christopher Wray has been an absolutely appalling director of the FBI. And there have been some like comically bad directors of the FBI. There have been some villainous directors of the FBI, namely J. Edgar Hoover, who their stupid headquarters building is named after. He's done a freaking terrible job. I don't think I've ever actually said this publicly, but I hope that Christopher Wray gets axed like immediately. People didn't think that he was going to axe Comey, and he did. I think Milley's toast. Whether he gets court-martialed or just like forced into retirement is one thing, but what's his name? Phil Labonte, lead singer of All That Remains. He had the most brilliant golden nugget like 3 months ago on Timcast, because this was back when Tim still had his staff. So Hannah Claire Bremolo was there, and she was saying the problem is these people fail up, they get out of government and they go onto board seats at Lockheed and Raytheon and all these types of companies. And Phil Labonte said the president could stop this by stripping them of their clearance and making them ineligible to hold government clearances, because their value in the professional marketplace in crony capitalism is the fact that they have the connections and relationships plus a security clearance. So I think he should do that. I think he should fire these people. I don't think it would be labor intensive to go after them. I think he'd do what he did with ISIS. He would say, hey, you federal agents, you investigators and United States attorneys, I need you to go after this mission. If you're unable to do it, just say it now. Say, hey, I don't think this can work. So you're fired. And we get the person in the seat who can do it. And then amazingly, when he did that with ISIS, amazingly, the generals were all like, maybe we can try something else. Maybe we can do this. And 2 months later, ISIS is defeated. I think he does the same thing with the criminal justice apparatus and says, hey, all of you idiots making all this money to fight crime, the American people think that there's some evidence here. I've seen some good evidence literally on Twitter. So I need you to go after this. And if you feel like you can't, then you're fired. And amazingly, they'll be able to prosecute these human traffickers. They'll be able to, we won't have these Diddy type things where everyone's like, oh, well, we all know something's going on, but we can't seem to catch these people. They're just so slippery and sneaky.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think, the one of the biggest differences between now and 2016 is that Trump actually has like a personal stake in going after these people. Like the FBI, he's like, yeah, like you guys were hoping that I would never get in this position again. You guys have been coming after me and coming after my family and raiding my home and trying to arrest me and all of these things. And you failed, I almost died because you guys suck at your job. Like he has got a personal stake in this now. And then he's just been biding his time. So so that's definitely a different tone than last time. I mean, he's been putting up with this crap from them for 8 years. And now he's back in this position where I think that's definitely in the direction where he's going to hold them accountable. I mean, something is going to happen. So I think they're probably all a little bit uncomfortable today.
Yeah. Sherry Baker says Diddy and Epstein's list needs to come out. You guys know what I'm saying. Diddy and Epstein list need to come out. Do you think do you think Trump's gonna reveal these things?
I hope so. I mean, the hard thing is that Trump himself engaged in these circles of people as well. So not that I don't think that he did anything really egregious like some of the other information that has come out. As far as I know, he never went to Epstein's island. I know there are pictures of him, with Diddy, and like he and his family are at one of Diddy's birthday parties. I mean, he was part of these circles. So I would hope that the list would come out. I mean, but on the other side, I mean, there are so many lawyers working on this case that whether it's Trump that releases it, I mean, at least on the Diddy case, who knows if the Epstein thing is ever going to come out, but there's so many attorneys already on this case. I don't know if he's going to have anything to do with that information coming out. But what we do know is probably all of these people that were coming out and endorsing Kamala Harris no longer have that protection. So I'm sure they're feeling a little bit uncomfortable tonight, too, because I still wholeheartedly believe that most of those people were trading endorsements for protection. And I think that if Trump was the one that was going to be able to, to protect them from it and absolve himself as well, they probably would have gone behind him. But that's why I don't think that he's involved in a really like sketchy, really deep into this stuff the way that some of them are. So, yeah, I don't know how much.
I don't think he is either. If he was, it would have come out already. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do any drugs. His family doesn't drink. If they had this damning evidence, it would have come out already.
Yeah.
I mean, they've tried everything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I mean, they've clearly demonstrated that they have no problem going after him for a bookkeeping error and turning that into a federal charge and 36 felonies and whatever else, or a felony charge. So yeah, if he were on that Diddy list or on the Epstein list in any kind of way that they could have held against him, or in in a criminal way, that we would have known that already. So
Reality Pocket says they'll just hide the diddler parties better.
Well, it doesn't seem like they, I mean, even though Diddy's behind bars right now or wherever he is, I don't know if he's on house arrest or I don't know what he's doing, but I don't know that the Diddy
Is he
parties are
even
stopping.
still with us? It's hard to tell.
No kidding. Has anybody heard from Diddy in a while? I mean, so
I played this at the top of the show, but Lisa Booth, put this out. This is a classic American conservative celebration here. I mean, shout out for like the harmonies too.
I know that's impressive.
Yeah, like they're doing it. They're doing it for real. And there's this now kind of classic clip of
And I won't forget
the Timcast crew singing. What is it? God Bless the USA.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we got to have Lisa back on the show sometime soon. So this is how the right celebrates things. The left already rioting. They were already boarding up Chicago, Detroit, New York, LA, Washington, D.C. was boarding up. They've created the new industry of plywood and 2x4 board ups on your shops and homes and federal buildings. What do you think is going to happen? Because we got little protests. We haven't had anything like hot and kinetic. But is the left about to have their own January 6th or what?
Oh, come on. Every day is January 6th for the left. I mean, they're always rioting, burning, looting. I mean, that's just another Tuesday for them.
And how fragile do they think democracy is? Every time, like if they had a pull string, it would be, democracy's down. We're going to lose democracy. It's like, bro, like how fragile a thing do you think this government is? Like it works. It's resilient. Calm down.
Yeah. Well, they don't even know what that means. The threat to democracy. It's like, what threat? Like what, be specific. They don't know what that is. I mean, as far as the rioting, I've been really surprised. And maybe it's just because my social media has been just flooded with liberal tears over the last couple of days. That's all I've seen. I cannot believe the number of videos out there of people that like intentionally set their cameras up and then throw these like 3-year-old tantrums in front of the camera and then make the intentional decision to post it online. But that's all I've been seeing. So I mean, I was expecting like the summer of love type riots from 2020. I was kind of expecting that kind of reaction, and maybe that's still coming, especially as we get closer to inauguration. But I don't know. I think it's actually kind of funny. And my husband made this point the other day because I think we were all expecting considerably higher levels of like shady activity on election night, and my husband was like, they didn't even like Kamala enough to cheat for her. Like, so
that's
I'm
so
like,
true.
It's like they don't even like her enough to riot for her. They're just like, eh.
So wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but
I don't know that I can say that they don't like her enough to cheat. Let me find where I put. Oh, my screen went away. Let me find where I put this. Is it up here? Okay, I know that I opened it. I didn't want to use this one. Okay, well, I'll just use this one. But I found the tweet, but I apparently lost it. So this is from I saw this on Tom Lively's show. He is a credible enough pastor and podcaster that I feel good about sharing that. This was as of like 6 p.m. yesterday, and he had broadcasted at 9 last night. But apparently, we're still having this issue where without 100% of the vote even in, they're still counting the votes. But these pivotal swing states, and yes, Virginia is a swing state. Virginia's purple. It's not. There was a 9-point shift in Loudoun. There was a huge shift in the state. Virginia votes against second-term White House administration. So that's how Virginia rolls. But like, take Virginia for example. The 87% of the vote in as of yesterday. 4.1 million registered voters, but 4.24 votes. Cannot be same day voter registration. You have to register 30 days in advance. Cannot be mail-in ballots. The act of getting a mail-in ballot issued to you is registering. That's how you get one. Wisconsin, 3.1 million registered voters, 3.24 vote. So yeah, 11,000 extra votes in Wisconsin. Virginia, this pisses me off, Virginia. 85 so far, with 87% of the vote in, 85,000 extra votes. Extra as in beyond registered voters. North Carolina, North Carolina went Trump, and they still had 227,000 extra votes. Many of these states do not require voter ID. But what's the biggest spread? The biggest spread, Minnesota, which is just ridiculous. Minnesota, you guys, really, Tim Pond State, almost 150,000 extra votes. That's what they're calling them, extra votes. This is fraud. This is a crime. Someone's committing a crime somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, those aren't small numbers. And that, that should be concerning.
Yep. There's something fundamentally wrong with our election system. Beyond trading the fast, cheap, and simple for slow, complicated, and expensive, which doesn't make any sense, but something is wrong in whatever you want to call it. The emperor has no clothes. Something is wrong in paradise or whatever. Like this makes me so upset, uneasy. This makes me feel like the nameless, faceless leaders just let Trump win. They were just like your husband said, yeah, they don't care enough to cheat for her because they don't want her to be president either. They want their stock portfolios to do well, which they already are. They want the wars to end, which Hamas and Russia are like, we're probably going to wrap this thing up. China's probably like, Taiwan, you live to see another day. We'll take our ball and go home. And the man's not even in the White House. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm distracted by the comments. I should probably not have opened that. But
Judy, your mama outspoken is in the building.
Where Kamala and Elmer Fudd, who is Tim Walz, sacrificial lambs, they knew they couldn't win, so they're grooming for the next election. What will happen in 2026? Can Trump keep the House and the Senate? You would like to think. I mean, I'm hoping that enough positivity and enough improvement will come that people will be like, hey, Republicans really aren't dictators. Hey, they really actually do want people to thrive and succeed. But, if living under a garbage heap for the last 4 years hasn't woken people up, having, a drastic change for the better isn't going to wake people up. So I don't know. I think it honestly, I mean, it's so weird because we would like to think that the things that matter would influence, how much of the vote or how much of Congress we actually keep. But I think it's really going to continue to depend on the media narrative and the talking points of the left and their hold over public opinion. And as much as I would like to think that has been broken, and I think a lot of ways it has, I think that it's really easy for people to get comfortable and then to start finding things wrong and start allowing that influence to creep back in. So I just kind of have lost my faith in people a little bit, even though I'm really glad that they showed up for Trump this time around. But But I do want to give a shout out to my mom. She's a Canadian immigrant, so she's going to have to start packing her bag soon.
We welcome you with open arms.
Right. Nobody wants to go back to Canada.
Come on down. We will have you. I failed. It was just a wreck, like getting everything staged today. Because of course work always has me come in on Thursdays. I'm like, I'll come in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever. And it's always Thursday. Something goes down and I gotta hit the office.
Yeah.
Anyway. I don't think they were sacrificial lambs. I thought Biden, Kamala were sacrificial lambs. I still think that they were, and I think wires got crossed between party leadership, who said, hey, let's let these two losers go. We'll just burn this ticket to the ground. And I think for 2020, the nameless, faceless oligarch said, nope, you guys screwed up. You didn't check with us first. We need Trump out, and we're going to do whatever it takes. And I think those same people decided to do whatever it takes, but their assassins kept failing. So,
Yeah.
That's because of the crap workforce that the Democrats have made. Like, they would be better assassins under Trump. I bet if you hire an assassin now, they get the job done first try. Or you're...
had, like, DEI shooters.
Oh, definitely. They definitely had DEI shooters, 100%. It's freaking ridiculous.
Everything the Democrats do, it just sucks. Oh
I have to agree. So people are also pointing this out on Twitter. No one wants to kind of talk about these anomalies. 4 million. Wow. 4 years ago, Biden got 81 million votes. Kamala Harris has 67 million votes so far. Let's just say it will even go up to 70 million. Did it though? What was the final? I'll look for that in a second. That still means that more than 10 million Democrat voters stayed home. Stop blaming third-party voters. I don't think that that's the case. I think that it's more, along these lines. This is just, I'm so glad that someone did this. Someone said that this isn't a good graph because it starts at 50. That person is an idiot, because if this went all the way down to zeros, it would be the same graph. The bars would just be longer. So, tell me you know nothing about research or reading bar graphs without telling me you're probably a liberal idiot. Anyway, Donald Trump just breaks records. He breaks records all the time. Incumbent president who receives substantially more votes. That almost never happens. Actually, I think it's only happened twice in the history of the United States. Donald Trump and way back, like pre-Andrew Jackson. Not Thomas Jefferson. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This makes me think there's still significant problems with the election. What if look at the 2020 graph, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it. Remember, I know if you're like me, on Tuesday night you're afraid to go to bed. It's like 2 a.m. and Eliza's like, she's like, we should go to bed. She's like, I'm not even tired. We straight up ordered food at like 2 a.m. and we stayed. I had to get up at like 6. I was like, nope, I'm getting less than 3 hours of sleep. It's whatever. Because we all had that like 2020 PTSD, but look at it now, get back in that headspace. What has changed? What safeguards exist that prevent, stave off, whatever, mitigate this 2020 thing happening again?
Paper ballots. Voting in person.
Paper ballots and voting in person on the day, unless you're serving in the military overseas or out of state and are absentee voting, or you're unambulatory or sick and you're voting absentee because of that. Yeah, paper ballots. If they did paper ballots, they would be done voting. They're still not done counting the votes. They would be done counting if it was paper ballots.
Is that what I know that Florida has their act together. Is that what they use there? Is that why it's done so quickly there?
Florida actually uses electronic like scantrons like most of the rest of the United States, but they. Okay, Samantha, you've triggered me.
Sorry.
We're supposed to believe with the technology, with the ballot scanners, because it scans the ballot, it creates a digital image of the ballot, it counts the ballot, computes and all that stuff. And this isn't advanced computing. What we're doing to run a podcast to just show ourselves on the internet and talk is 10 times more technology. No, it's 1,000 times more tech than scanning a sheet of paper and saying 1 or 0 or -1 or +1. It's so, there's more technology in a calculator. Not a TI-83, like a simple calculator. Do I have a calculator? Like a totally basic. There's more technology in this than should be in a ballot counting machine. Now, what Florida did is and honestly, Loudoun County did this too. When I was an election official in 2020, I verified with my own eyes that you should be able to get your results in basically immediately because we decentralized elections. So we have all these precincts and you have people even in the same town going to 4, 5, 6 different polling places. And the reason for that is it does cut down on lines and cuts down time, but it actually makes you able to count the results quicker. So instead of having Loudoun County, instead of having 200, 300,000 folks, we had 10,000 people, eligible voters in our precinct. And we had crazy turnout, like something like 65, 70% of them showed up on the day. And there was it was like 80% turnout in our precinct. So maybe 10 or 12 did mail-in ballots ahead of time. But when the poll closed and we pulled those ballots out of the thing that everyone puts them in, it already scans them when you put it in there. So the computer actually already knows what the count is. But pretending like that's not even a thing, we take the ballots out and we count them, just our precinct, and it's done. It was done inside of an hour. And it should be done inside of an hour everywhere. If you're still counting or still screwing around, that's what you're screwing around. You're doing something that's not taking the ballots out and counting them. You're doing something else. There's no reason this House race bullcrap. The reason that the House isn't decided yet is because people are cheating.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, obviously we know that's why they made it more complicated so that they could stretch the time out a little bit and see where they can tweak things if possible without it being too noticeable. So of course we know that that's why these things are not more secure.
But it doesn't make any sense.
More straightforward, huh?
It doesn't make any sense. What do they say that they're doing? All the ballots are in. So what?
Well, they just say that they're counting. And everybody's like, oh, that makes sense.
It literally doesn't.
Oh, well, I don't know. I understand it doesn't actually make sense, but we just accept that excuse at face value instead of people getting in there and being like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. There's no reason for it to be that complicated. I mean, in Texas, it's definitely not, I don't think it's as simple as Florida, but we get our ballots counted pretty quickly. We have our results on the same night, and Texas is huge. So there's no reason for so many of these states to be lagging behind when it's like, I know that you have like a quarter of the ballots to count that places like, Texas and Florida have to do. So yeah, it doesn't make sense, but people don't question it when they hear things like we're still counting. We want to make sure that we get every vote in, that every ballot is seen and accounted for. Then people are like, oh yeah. Because we always constantly accept things when we're told that it's for our benefit, that they're just doing it for us to make sure that our voices are heard. And we're like, oh, that's so nice.
Are we allowed to say retarded again? Like, is that acceptable in Trump's America? Yeah, that's retarded. Like, if you believe that, And this is right and left of the aisle, guys, because I'm arguing with people constantly on CT's channel, on Grid's channel, on Glenn's channel, all over the place. I'm arguing with you idiots that are like, vote early. No, I will. I voted early twice in my life. I was serving out of state both times. No. Now, one time I was serving out of state and I came back to Virginia to go to Rustburg, Virginia and vote. Like way out in the middle of nowhere. Oh gosh, it's just it makes me so upset. This is one of the things that makes me like want to lose my crap, because
I can see that.
everyone's like, well, Scott Pressler's saying it, Donald Trump saying, I'm like, are you a retard? Are you? If Donald Trump said grab him by the, whatever and do that, then are you for that now? Or are you an autonomous person with agency, the reason in being, with a soul and with rational capacity, supposedly rational capacity, so you can say to yourself, hey, it's weird that France uses 100-year-old materials to paper vote and count their ballots, and they're done in like 90 minutes. And the most powerful and technologically advanced country on earth takes weeks to count election results. And it'll be Christmas, and they'll be like, the left wins the House. That they found the votes for that one close race that we've been watching for the last 6 weeks. And everyone's going to be like, man, they put up such a good fight. It was so close. And I'm like, no, it really wasn't. There are hundreds of thousands of extra votes that we know are unlawful. Nothing is going to be done about it. And people are like, maybe the Supreme Court will jump in. I'm like, maybe you're an idiot. Like, maybe you're 100% an idiot if you think the Supreme Court is going to be like, hey, we see these fraudulent votes and we're going to... No, that's not what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, maybe in some ways, and maybe I'm just giving people too much credit, but I think a lot of times we just kind of go along with it. We're like, okay, it's fine. Because a lot of us know we can't do anything about it. If they're still counting votes in Pennsylvania or wherever they're still counting votes, it's like, okay, get it done on your own time, then that'd be great. And so when I say, it's okay, it's really not. But ultimately, it's like, I can't change that. And a lot of times they put people in charge that aren't going to do anything about it. So this has to be like a widespread, like national movement for people to decide we're going to get back to a more secure voting method. We're going to take people off of our registers that should not be there. And we're going to demand that we're going to have a day off for every single person in the state to show up with a paper ballot and cast their vote that way. Until that happens, I think people just accept it because they're like, we can't do anything about it. Like, it is what it is. So, it's unfortunate. I'm not saying it's okay, but I think it's more of a coping mechanism than anything.
You know how you can tell that the left knows that they're cheating? The left knows that they're cheating because they are quiet as a mouse about the integrity of the elections, and Donald Trump has won twice. Probably 3 times, but we'll say twice. And they're not saying our elections are insecure and we need to shore them up. They're like, oh, he got us this time, because they know that they're like, yeah, we didn't cheat this one. 13, I guess 13 Bujankin. Okay. These YouTube names some of these names are crazy. So some poll counters are paid. Anytime there's a time clock or paycheck involved, efficiency gets attacked by hustlers. I was unaware of that being a thing. Here in Virginia, we were paid, but it was like a flat fee. It's just like, this is what you get for serving on this day, and that's it. And I think they might have had food for us. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. Yeah, but I feel like we had Subway or Jersey Mike's subs, and they paid us the whatever it is. which is kind of funny because it's like $200 or something. And people are like, that's so much money. And I'm like, it depends on what you do for a living. For me to spend all day somewhere for $200, I've lost a lot of money. But yeah, it's just like Arma 15 said, it's Common Core math.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That subject just makes me angry. So let's, I guess, talk about something else. So stupid. So stupid. All right. Yeah. Let's look at this one. If I can get it on the screen here. What are these names? Kangman Lee?
Yeah.
Post. Lost all the swing states, lost the popular vote, lost the electoral college, lost the election. Absolutely mogged by Trump. I don't even know what mogged means, but people are saying it. People are saying this. I don't think this is a platitude. I think it's absolutely true. Donald Trump 1000% has a mandate to govern the way he sees fit, to push policies and promote his agenda, just as he did in 2016 when he was very a speculative candidate. And people said, the leftist reality sucks and we want some more of that 2018, 2019 action. So what do you think that we're in for his second term?
I'm mass deportations, hopefully. I mean,
Yeah,
pardoning January 6ers. I'm excited to see what Robert Kennedy Jr. does with the whole health situation, with the pharmaceuticals, with the food. I just think it's a very interesting like dream team that he's kind of put together. I mean, we want to talk about Avengers. Like he's got what is the role that Elon Musk is supposedly being assigned? Do you know?
I have no idea. But I'm hearing people talk about, I don't know if he's supposed to be, he's already essentially a technology advisor, because he's cleared and the government uses a lot of his stuff for things that we don't talk about on the internet. But I have no idea. I have no idea what Trump wants him to do. He'll probably be an advisor. Advising on what? I have no idea. Energy policy, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think I think it's funny. We're like, Elon Musk is going to be there. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't care. It's just going to be awesome. So
he's going to be doing something.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
No, he's got.
That was so close. Why doesn't it zoom out? Okay. Well, this is supposedly the Trump dream team. I don't know why Byron Donalds is on there. Good dude, but anyway.
I know. I was like, did I miss something? Because he's got some amazing people, and all of these people have proven themselves to be dedicated, to a cause, to be intelligent, to be unifying in the way that, we actually want to be unified. I don't really know what to expect. I just know that it can't get any worse. What are your thoughts? What are we going to see going forward?
Some people are saying he shouldn't do it. I want him to fire most, if not all, senior executive service members. There might even be a case, again, Phil Labonte is just living rent-free in my head right now. Phil Labonte says that everyone who's a GS-13 or higher needs to be fired because by the time you're GS-13, which is where you start to get introduced into the supervisory ranks of the federal government, even though there are GS-14s and 15s that are not supervisory 14s and 15s, to get there, you are generally indoctrinated enough. You've had enough of the Kool-Aid that you're probably irredeemable. And maybe that's a little too hardcore, but it makes sense. So if I woke up and I were President Trump, if you're listening to this somehow, I don't know how that would be possible. But I would put agencies on notice. I would give them 9 and 12 month notices and say, hey, this agency is gone. Like the IRS, I would get rid of. The IRS is unconstitutional because they go to you and say, prove to me that you didn't commit a crime, which is anti due process. So says the Constitution, which is why the Second and Fourth Amendments are even a thing. Anyway, or not the second, what's the due process amendment? Am I thinking 4 and 5? Clearly I'm very tired. Yeah, I think I'm thinking 4 and the Fifth Amendment is the Fifth Amendment is the due process. It's right not to give testimony against yourself. Is it 4, 5, 10? 4, 5, 8? Anyway, your right to due process, speedy trial, face your accusers, examine and scrutinize facts and evidence presented against you, all of that kind of stuff that Trump was not allowed to do for his many, many, many court cases. Agencies like that need to be done away with. So IRS, I would say, hey, you all have a 12-month notice, so you're fired in 12 months. No ifs, ands, or buts, but I would incentivize them to leave early by saying, for every month early that you leave, you get a check that is a percentage of the rest of that salary. So you would make the most if you left immediately, and you would actually make less money if you stayed for job security and worked that last year. But if you left, you'd get a big fat check. You'd get more. Yeah. If you left in 30 days, you would get more than you would make in the entire year immediately. And that would save the government tons of money, because these agencies they're unfunded or they're funded liabilities, and they're ULOs and UFERs too, unfunded liabilities. They work on 3 and 5 year planning cycles, and then some of them, like DoD with the FIDIP, goes out to 10 years. So those funds are projected. They're known knowns, but they get allocated on a yearly basis. So there would be billions of dollars that could be reallocated to, say, debt reduction. Anyway, he's not going to do that. He's not going to get rid of federal agencies. I think that he's going to fire some household names. I think Christopher Wray is going to be fired. I think General Milley, perhaps because of how bad the wars are, I think he replaces the entire Joint Chiefs of Staff. I think all of those guys are done. What are these the trans ones? The
Department of
Levine.
Health.
Yeah,
Levine.
Yeah, and the bald kleptomaniac.
Sam.
Yeah, they're gone.
Brenton. I don't think that person is part of the Biden administration anymore, because they had too many incidents of stealing people's luggage. So
yeah, they didn't want them to have unfettered access to nuclear materials and nuclear secrets with the Department of Energy. Freaking idiots.
I think I'm excited to have no men in dresses in this administration.
Yeah, this is not the best picture of Tulsi Gabbard, but I think Vance is going to do an incredible job. I think RFK, who I don't agree with him on a lot of policy, but in terms of health and administration of intelligence agencies and stuff like that, I think he's a genius. Now, what's making me nervous is, are you seeing these Tulsi Gabbard for president 2028 things out on Twitter? Like, just be patient. Your first female president is among us. Are you not seeing here?
I haven't. I feel like I saw something else for a 2028 president, but I haven't seen the one for Tulsi Gabbard. It doesn't surprise me. So does that make you nervous?
That makes me nervous because I just right-wingers, guys, we are just so accepting and stupid. Tulsi Gabbard's not conservative. She is just like Elon had laid out, the left had moved so far left, she did not change her views. She always believed in the ability to protect yourself. She always believed in free speech. She always, but she still, she would have to change some ethical and moral things in her heart and in her position. Yeah, she didn't come out against the intelligence state until they started putting her on list and giving her the special screenings at TSA. And TSA, those bastards, they just got my I have a TSA notice right here. They got my cigar lighter, which was in my checked bag, which has been on dozens of flights. And I fully believe that someone was like, this is a nice cigar lighter, I'm going to steal it. And they just put this bull crap in my bag. There's no, I had to get a new, there's nothing that my cigar lighter could have done to that airplane. Also, it was a 4-leg flight and they took it on the last leg. So it's like, it's been on 3 planes already.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Someone saw it. They wanted it. But
yeah, and they just took it. They just straight up just stole my freaking lighter.
Well, and I think, no, I haven't seen the thing about Tulsi Gabbard, people wanting her to be president. I think people just need to calm down and focus on what we have right in front of us. I mean, and not only that, making statements like that just shows to me that Republicans engage in identity politics to an extent too much as well. They're like, hey, look, we could possibly have the first female president. And ultimately, like, what does that really matter? Does she represent our values? Is she somebody that would be a strong leader? Is she somebody that would be intimidating to our foreign adversaries? Like, to me, all of those answers are no. So, you know, it's great that she decided to flip her registration. I don't really think that mattered, perhaps. And not, I mean, I don't want to say this is a bad thing. Perhaps she did it because she wanted a place on Trump's administration. I don't know. I don't know. I think people just need to calm down and focus on what's right in front of us and address the issues that need to be addressed right now. And then whoever, you know, proves themselves going forward, that's who we focus on for 2028. But we're not even close to being there yet. Trump's not even in the White House yet. So let's cross that bridge first.
Yeah, I mean, people have been literally trying to kill this man for the last like 6 or 8 weeks. So
yeah, I didn't even think he was going to make it to November 5th. So like,
yeah,
I think he just needs to go to Mar-a-Lago and lock himself in a room and stay there until January 20th. Just stay there and don't move.
Yes, TSA has been going unchecked for a while. TSA agent, you think that mall cops are bad with the little badge and the flashlight authority? TSA feels so empowered because they are part of they're part of the Department of Homeland Security, and they just have ridiculous powers for no reason at all. Like, no reason at all. And I'm going to say this. I've been deep inside TSA. They're not even trained appropriately to have the type of authority that they have. It's wild. Like, I don't know how there aren't dozens of lawsuits filed every year against these idiots for the stuff that they do. But anyway, I just gotta move off TSA or I'll just lose my crap.
Maybe one of these days we'll have to do a deep dive into TSA because I don't know that much about them. I haven't had that many interactions. I go through the little scanner, I get my shoes in my purse and my jacket, and I leave. Like, that's.
Yeah, you got to get TSA pre-check, girl.
I don't fly that much. I just.
Never mind. Sometimes I just forget that we're on the internet. So, yeah, I have TSA pre-check. I will say, I think CT is your biggest fan.
White women are truly magical. I don't know. I've seen a lot of white women over the last few days on the internet, and it's anything but magical.
I'll say this. I married a white woman not because white women are magical, because black women are crazy. All right. And yeah, been there, dated black girls, got the t-shirt, just no thanks. Hispanic women, it's kind of like a coin toss. Like, she could be very wholesome and very marriageable, great mother, or she could be absolutely crazier than the black girl. So it's just not a gamble worth taking. Until things change, Black America, I'm looking at you. White people have Karens, and the black community has, Kamamis and all this nonsense. Until things change, it's safer to date and marry a white girl than a black girl. So
A white conservative girl, don't go. But I mean, the white liberal women are all taking themselves off the market for the next 4 years. So.
Can I say, like, what a stupid threat? Oh, we're not going to have sex anymore. I'm like, we've been wanting you to stop anyway. What kind of threat is this? You're killing babies. You're being a big whore. And you're saying, oh, we're not going to do any of that anymore. That's why we're in politics. You think we want to be doing this? If you weren't doing that stuff and ruining our society, then Samantha and I probably wouldn't be here. Donald Trump would be floating around on yachts and smoking. He doesn't smoke. Going around on yachts doing whatever billionaires do.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But the thing is, like, they do this all the time. They did it. They threatened it, I believe, when Trump was elected the first time, and they thought that he was going to take all their rights away. They did it when Roe v. Wade was overturned. I remember specifically seeing all these women like, we're going to stop sleeping with men. And this time they're doing it again. And it's like, how I know you guys are full of crap? Because the abortion numbers have gone up since Roe v. Wade was overturned. So I know that you guys are not holding to this this abstinence that you're claiming to
it's ridiculous.
Threatening the world with right now.
I've been posting, honestly, I've been a little savage on Twitter the last day and a half. It's true. But all of those videos that I see, I'm like, basically by the time this post rose to notoriety, this girl had already screwed someone. Like, let's just be honest. Like, they're hoes. There's no other way around it. If you had the higher level thinking, if you had the discipline and the virtue to not do that, you wouldn't be doing that. This is why popes and saints and Paul said, if you burn with passion, then marry that girl. That's the Joe Mobley translation, but that's essentially the message. Like, hey, it would be good if one could devote their life completely to Christ and Christ alone, then that would be ideal. But since it's not for most people, and your flesh burns with passion, then get married. It's not. And on that note, guys, lust isn't a sin. I can lust after my wife all I want, and I do. We have 5 kids, might be going for 6, not during November, because I get significantly less action with the No Shave November that I'm allowed to do for the first time in over a decade. So I'm just gonna drink it all in. But anyway,
I was gonna say, I'm like, where did the facial hair come from? I'm like, I don't know if I was a little surprised by that. But yeah, we know they're full of crap. I don't understand what kind of a threat they think this is anyway. It's like, nobody's going to be more upset with your movement, with your 4B movement that you're supposedly all joining in on right now, than Planned Parenthood and OnlyFans. Like, those are the industries that are going to cry. You're not hurting my feelings. You're not hurting Joe's feelings. You're not hurting Christian conservatives. Like, who do you think it is that cares? And I guarantee the men that are lining up, are probably not lining up at your doorstep. They're all wearing makeup. They all have dresses, and they probably have less testosterone in their bodies than you do. So you're not hurting anybody. I don't understand what point they think they're making why they legitimately believe this is any kind of threat or retaliation, or that they're hurting anybody by even saying these things. It's like, nobody cares. Like,
Nope. Don't threaten us with a good time.
right.
Please leave the country, close your legs, stop having abortions. I'll be devastated. Oh no. So this is why this fits perfectly in. This is why you guys lost the election. Your platform was the chief aim of man is to kill their own unborn children. Just abortions on demand for no reason at all, whatever reason, no fault divorce. Just this woman's like, leave your husband before you lose the right. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You can leave your husband whenever. Like, Donald Trump can't stop. But these people think that Donald Trump is the great and powerful Oz. Like, he's the most magical, magnificent, powerful creature the world has ever known. Donald Trump can't stop you from leaving your husband.
Yeah.
Also, he doesn't care.
He doesn't want to. Like, I mean, I saw people that were truly of the mindset that JD Vance was interested in tracking their periods. It's like,
Oh gosh.
I guarantee JD Vance has no interest.
Yeah. Also, husbands, we're too dumb to track our wives' periods, because you girls, you come in, there's something is off, and we're always late to the party. We're always like, oh, that's why. Like, if we're too dumb to figure things out in our own household regarding the menstruating, and it's gosh, it's so. You know how they have beer goggles? I wish they had something that you could, like a brainwave helmet that you could put on, and it altered your thinking to be like that of a liberal. Because I just had an experience that, like, it must be wild for just the neurons to not fire all the way. Just these little blips and flashes, because they're all bridges to nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump doesn't want you. He doesn't care about you being married or not married, leaving your husband, staying with your whatever. JD Vance doesn't give a crap about your periods. And I bet no woman that he's ever had a conversation with, except for maybe his wife, maybe, I don't even know, has menstruating come up. I feel confident reporting that here tonight.
Yeah. No, there's no way to break through just the absolute lack of sense that these people are spouting. I mean, if they obviously they're under the impression that Donald Trump is going to be a dictator, despite the fact that he was in office for 4 years and didn't do any of the things that they're afraid of. But not only that, they themselves, whenever somebody calls out government overreach, they themselves automatically associate that with being a Republican or a conservative, or wanting to dismantle an agency for abusing their power or infringing on our rights. It's like, everything is just a complete contradiction. So, but there's no getting through. I legitimately believe so many of these people are going to need professional, like, psychotherapy to break through this programming, because that's what it is. It's going to take actual, like, deprogramming efforts, because that's how far gone they are.
I don't think they're ever coming back. So the abortions, free sex or whatever, leaving your spouse. The other thing that was so important to them, porn and masturbation. Goodness gracious, that this is this is not a joke. Okay. This is a real political ad that really ran this political cycle for the last 10 days. Not even for the presidential, for congressional races. So here we go.
Oh! Sorry, you can't do that. What the hell?
Wait, have you not seen this?
No.
Oh, let me read the thing then. A Democrat group releases an ad of a young man pleasuring himself in an effort to get people to vote for Kamala. Again, this is not a joke. The Progress Action Fund and Defend the Vote helped release a $2.5 million ad campaign. So they spent $2.5 million to have this white dude for Kamala pretend pleasuring him. I hope pretend pleasuring himself on a commercial and then.
Oh! Sorry, you can't do that.
What the hell, man? How'd you get in here?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're banning porn nationwide.
You can't tell me what to do. Get out of my bedroom, you creep.
I won the last election, so it's my decision. I'm just gonna watch and make sure you don't finish illegally.
What?
I can't believe you haven't seen this. They actually believe this. Make sure I'm gonna watch and make sure you don't finish illegally. Are you kidding? This is a real political ad paid for by a political action committee. It's freaking crazy, guys. This is not that. There are people who believe this. They're like JD Vance wants to be this for your periods, and whoever was running in these congressionals wants to be this for your pleasure yourself. It's because they are the ones, that freaking comedian chick, wake up and do drugs and watch mattress actresses is the pinnacle of life. It's like, no, it's not. That's how you burn society to the ground. And other people have to be adults and say, hey, not that you can't do this, but you can't proliferate these ideas because they're destructive and gross.
Yeah. I think that was one of the things that during Kamala's campaign, leading up to the election, that really just bothered me. I mean, there were so many things that bothered me, but had Kamala won, that would mean that our country would have fallen so far from our like founding ideas as like this moral, this moral country based on Judeo-Christian values, based on these things that are supposed to be uplifting and centered on God and reaching our potential. How far we would have fallen had we elected this person, meaning that things like abortion and porn and OnlyFans and promiscuity and all of these deeply immoral and depraved things, that would have been the things that would have defined us as a country. And I just could not believe that God would let us go that far, to really let ourselves be redefined to that point, because that's honestly what we would have stood for had the majority of Americans voted for this person. That's the message that would have been sent.
I couldn't agree more. I think Matt Walsh said it brilliantly. I was watching one last night. Eliza and I watched Am I Racist? And people kept saying it was so funny. We laughed until we cried at some of the stuff that he was doing. Like, yeah, I won't even try. I won't even try to replicate it. But that man is a genius. Like, he really is. He needs to be so much more influential than he is right now. Because the first one was really good. What is a Woman? So good. But Am I Racist? Even better. I mean, anyway, on the night of the election, and Matt Walsh, not to say that he's not as intelligent as some of the other guys in the room when they're doing those things, but he definitely seems to speak less, and he doesn't like use big words, and like he's not like a Prager or Shapiro or Knowles, whatever his name is, Peterson. But he said, honestly, the thing that was on the ballot the most, and he's like, I don't want to be one of these guys that threatens to leave, but he said, I don't know how to continue on in a country if the number one thing that people care about is the right to continue to murder babies, which was their whole platform. It was they didn't talk about border, crime, economy, housing prices. They didn't talk about any of that. They only talked about sexual issues, so something that having to do with being a whore. And then the natural thing that follows from that, killing it. But the way that he said it, it was very somber. I was like, I'm glad that I didn't realize that beforehand, because it would have just stressed me out so much more about the election, because that's what was on the ballot. when you go out and see people, if you picked a random person, is it more likely than not that the most important thing to that person's identity, that what it means to be an American to them, what a functioning and flourishing society means to them, the most important indicator there is, can I kill babies? Is the situation that we were just in. And I think we still are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, this is still too big of an issue. But I mean, had Kamala won based on that issue, based on like literal child sacrifice, we would have deserved her as a president. Like, if we've fallen that far, then, you know, I would say we deserve what we get, because that's just to think that the majority of the country would put that as their primary value, not just a voting issue, but a value as an American, is just so unfathomable to me. But thankfully, that was not the case. So I'm relieved.
So we're going to say one more quick little thing, and then I'm going to go over and do members only at 10. I don't know if you're staying for that. You've definitely stayed a good long time, so you don't have to, but you're welcome to. That would be awesome. Guys, if you want to see that, then go to thejoemobley.com/join. You actually can watch the member only show for free. But if you wanted to become a paid supporter, then I still need to make that longer. Good grief. If you want to become a paid supporter and get the t-shirt and the member exclusive mug, then it's $5 a month. So go to that link. I think it's the second link down in the description, and get started there on Locals. Or you can just make a Locals account for free, join the Joe Mobley Show community for free, and watch this member only content that's about to occur for free. CT, if you're still in the chat, man, yeah, your show was driving me crazy today. I was so upset that I was working and I couldn't be in the office. Well, one, there's no microphones in the office or cameras or anything like that. So, but still, like a real uncloseted conservative, I pull up the craziest stuff and throw it up on the screen for everybody to see it, and it plays out of the speakers. It's great. Anyway, if you want to come on so we can straighten this thing out about how white Americans are raised, because your show was infuriating today, it was just ridiculous, then I would love to chat about that. Otherwise, I'm going to be talking about why the left lost from a political analyst perspective and how elections are run, is what we're going to be talking about over there. But the last thing I want to say over here is, just off the top of your head, if you don't know, how many states in the union do you think require by law an ID to vote?
I honestly have no idea, so this would just be like a guess off the top of my head.
Right off the top of the dome, just what do you got?
15.
9.
Oh my gosh.
9 whole states, of which neither of our state are. Arkansas, Georgia, Indiana, Kansas, Mississippi, North Carolina, Iowa, Tennessee, Wisconsin are the only states that require by law. States that request. Virginia, we still didn't make the cut. So Texas
Texas, at least we asked for it.
Yeah, Texas made the cut, but 28 states have no identification requirement, which is wild. Of these 28 states, every single state that Kamala Harris won is on this list. Isn't that like super weird? Just like, what a kawinky dink. Except for Alaska. She didn't win Alaska. Oh, no, she didn't win these states. Obviously, she didn't win 28 states. But the states that she did win are on this list, except for, let me think. I think one other
Didn't she
state.
get Missouri?
Yeah, she lost this one. Yeah, she lost all of these. Iowa?
Yep.
No, Iowa went. Okay, well, clearly, where's my map? Yeah, shit. Is it at Maine, I think? No, they don't. Yeah, Maine. Okay, so she Oh, no, they don't require. Never mind. Anyway, you guys get the picture. This is for people who are like, woo, this is such a great win. The elections are still trash. The elections are still super bad. 28 states don't require ID at all. And the rest of them, except for nine states. 9 states require ID. Yeah. And people are like, yeah, our elections are ridiculous. A 5th grader could be like, wait, what? That's like showing up for the SATs or the LSAT or something, and where they're screening at the door because they need to know that the person who's registered for this test comes in. That's like just showing up and they're just like, oh, anyone sit anywhere, just how will you know who I am? Oh, just write your name on the test. It's fine.
Yeah. Is that should there be a federal law passed saying you have to have an ID to vote? Or should
Honestly,
it be handled just at the state level?
I know that a lot of people are like, we should not federalize elections. I get it. We should not federalize elections. That would be a terrible idea. I get it, guys. But there are things, there are strict parameters about elections that come out of the Constitution. The Constitution is not, just stick with me, guys. I promise. I know something about this. I'm not crazy. The Constitution is not a purely federal thing. The Constitution is the only law in the history of the United States that the people passed. Us, people, citizens of states, through ratification. That started the government, that said, yes, this is the government that we're going to do, and now the government is going to pass laws. The Constitution, try not to unfollow, okay? The Constitution is one of the more, not socialist, I'll say social, communal documents that we have, because the community of the colonies then agreeing to become states and be subject to the jurisdiction of the government that we're deciding is going to be government. That's how the Constitution came to be, okay? They understood it then, we don't understand it now. So because of that, the Constitution has strict parameters on how elections are going to run, that they're going to be elections. They're going to be for these types of races. They're going to be held on these days and these cycles. Now, the poor founders, brilliant men, I guess they didn't foresee that we would be so stupid that we wouldn't realize that people who aren't subject to the jurisdiction therein of the United States, meaning they're not citizens of the United States, couldn't vote in our elections. Mm-hmm. And you would need to prove that you are.
Yeah.
This was another one of those things. They were like, guys, everyone knows this, right? Like, we only got so much. We're handwriting this too. We're not just putting a bunch of frivolous stuff on here. But apparently they should have. Apparently they should have said, hey, obviously you need to be a citizen. Obviously you need to be able to prove through deed or some identification method that you are an American citizen voting in America's elections. Otherwise, China could just send some of their billions of people over here and they can just show up, ooh, ching chang, whatever, vote for, They'd all write in some foreigner and then, anyway.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I think we have some things to fix. I saw Sherry Baker or somebody in the comments said, well, Trump will fix that. It's really not up to Trump to fix so many of these things. A lot of these things are our responsibility and the responsibility of our local government. And it's our responsibility to connect with them and say, hey, this is something that we need to fix. As a state, we need to require ID. We need a secure system. We need people to be citizens. Like, this is the standard that we want for the state that we live in. So many of these things are really our job to understand and to advocate for.
Yeah, I agree. So, all right. Well, got to do the member show. Your mom says, I guess you don't drink coffee.
Oh.
So yeah, you guys can donate a hot chocolate, I guess, to Samantha.
I'm on a little website called Buy Me a Coffee. It's to help fund my channel. So that's what that's in reference to. It's not actually buying a literal coffee, but you can buy me a Rockstar.
Oh no, don't drink energy drinks. It's okay. RFK is gonna get them he's gonna get them thrown out. What's the word? Abolished,
Banned,
outlawed, banned. Thank you.
well, then I better enjoy them while I can.
Here we go. Yes, please go and buy Samantha a coffee and buy yourself a shirt or a membership at thejoemobley.com/join.
Yep.
And can I get this on there? There we go. Maybe?
Your funds will help me to go buy more tiles so this can get filled up.
Buy a coffee, buy a tile, same.
No, that's what I should put. Buy a tile.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Guys, that is all we got. I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Jump on over to Locals if you want to go through this riveting political analysis. Bye.
All right.